Disclaimer: this story explores mature emotional themes between adults. Viewer discretion is advised. I never expected a single sentence to shatter the silence of our perfectly ordinary life. But that's what happened one late evening in the kitchen when my stepson, eyes sharp with something between defiance and longing, said it. "I don't care if it's wrong, it feels real." That moment didn't come out of nowhere. It built quietly, like tension in the air before a storm. Days, then weeks of glances held too long, conversations that tiptoed over lines, and the kind of emotional closeness that starts to blur the boundaries you swore you'd never cross. Let me back up. My name is Claire. I'm 36, a graphic designer, and I've been married to Adam for 6 years. He's a good man, steady, practical, kind, but we've been growing apart. Our marriage started strong, but somewhere along the way it dulled. We became polite roommates in a big house with quiet dinners and separate routines. Then came Jamie. Jamie is Adam's son from his first marriage. He's 22, a college graduate, tall, charismatic, with that easy confidence that makes people lean in when he speaks. He moved back in with us after school, saying he needed a place to land before starting his job in the city. I told myself it was temporary. Just a few months. At first, it was simple. We got along. We joked. We talked late when Adam was working nights. Jamie had this way of listening like nothing else existed in the world, like every word I said mattered. And I guess that was the first crack. Because I didn't realize how badly I needed to feel seen until someone actually looked. It wasn't physical. Not then. It was slower, quieter than that. Emotional intimacy creeps in. A movie night that ended with him resting his head on my shoulder. A dinner where our hands brushed and no one moved away. The way he'd say things like, "You deserve more than silence," when he heard Adam brush me off again. I knew it was dangerous. I reminded myself daily, he's my stepson. Even if he's an adult. Even if we're not blood. Even if I didn't raise him. But boundaries don't hold when your heart starts rewriting the rules. Last night, it boiled over. I was washing dishes. He came in behind me, his voice low. "Claire, we can't keep pretending this isn't happening." I froze. The sink kept running. He stepped closer. I turned, ready to shut it down for real this time. But then he said it. Those 8 words that split me in half. "I don't care if it's wrong, it feels real." My breath caught. My heart was racing, pounding in my ears. For a moment, neither of us moved. The truth hung heavy between us. Then we heard the front door open. Adam was home. I heard Adam's voice before I saw him. Casual. Tired. "Hey, I'm home." Jamie and I didn't speak. He stepped back quickly, and I turned toward the sink, scrubbing a plate like it held the answer to everything. My heart was still racing, but I kept my face calm. Adam walked into the kitchen, gave me a soft kiss on the cheek, and nodded at Jamie. "You two eating without me again?" He smiled. Normal. Comfortable. Clueless. Jamie forced a grin. "Just helping out. Long day?" "Yeah," Adam sighed, grabbing a beer. "I might crash early." I watched him move through the kitchen, my husband, the man I once dreamed of growing old with. We had history. A quiet kind of love. But it wasn't enough anymore, and I hated that realization. What do you do when love turns into loyalty, and loyalty starts to feel like a trap? After Adam went upstairs, the silence between Jamie and me roared back. "I should go for a walk," he said. "Clear my head." I nodded. "Yeah, me too." But neither of us moved. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. My mind played back everything. Jamie's eyes. His voice. That line, "It feels real." And the worst part? It did. When Adam and I got married, Jamie was in high school. He didn't live with us full-time, but even then, he stood out charming, sharp, always older than his age. He was polite to me at first, then kind. After his mom moved abroad, we started to talk more. I was just trying to be there for him. But things changed this year. Jamie came back different, quieter, more thoughtful. sometimes distant. We started having real conversations. About life. About loneliness. About feeling unseen. He told me once, "You don't really talk to anyone the way you talk to me." I'd brushed it off. But he was right. Still, I told myself this was just misplaced emotion. An emotional affair, maybe. A symptom of something broken in my marriage. It didn't mean anything, except now it does. Jamie's presence fills the house. His coffee mug beside mine. His jacket on the back of the chair. His scent in the hallway. And me? I'm losing track of where the line is. Is this just a fantasy filling the cracks in my life? Or is this a forbidden connection I've been resisting because I'm scared of what it means? I thought I was the adult, the steady one. But the truth is, I've never been more confused in my life. Every choice feels like betrayal. Every moment of silence is louder now. Tomorrow, Jamie leaves for a week to visit friends. I should be relieved. Instead, I feel like I'm watching the only thing that feels real walk out the door. And I don't know if I want to stop him or follow. Jamie was gone, and the house felt different, emptier in a way I didn't expect. His absence didn't give me clarity. It gave me time. And that was worse. Adam noticed the shift. "You okay?" he asked one morning while we drank coffee at the kitchen island. I smiled. "Just tired." He nodded like he believed me, but I could feel him watching me more closely now. He'd been distant for months, but something had changed. Maybe he could sense the drift wasn't just between us, it was circling around someone else. A few days into Jamie's trip, I got a text. "Jamie, miss you." Not just the house. You. I stared at the screen too long before locking it. This couldn't keep happening. But the truth was, I missed him too. His energy, his attention, his presence. The next evening, I met up with my sister, Elise, for dinner. She could always tell when something was off. "You look stressed," she said, setting down her wine glass. I shrugged. "Work's been a lot." Elise narrowed her eyes. "Is that it? Or is it Adam again?" I hesitated. Elise had never fully warmed to Adam. She thought he was emotionally closed off, too passive. Years ago, I defended him. Now, I wasn't sure what to say. Before I could answer, she asked, "Is there someone else?" I laughed too quickly. "No. God, no. What would make you ask that?" She looked at me like she already knew. Later that night, I thought about what Elise said. About how someone outside the marriage might not just be a temptation, but a mirror. Showing you everything you're missing. And then, the real problem hit me. It wasn't just Jamie who had feelings. It was me too. That night, I opened the drawer where I kept old letters, photos, stuff I hadn't looked at in years. I pulled out a birthday card from Jamie, written the year I married his father. He was 16 then. "Thanks for making Dad happy. You're cool. Hope you stick around." At the time, it melted me. Now, I wasn't so sure I deserved it. The guilt was building. But so was something else. A need. Not just for romance or attention, but for truth. To feel alive again. To feel like a woman, not just a role. Jamie texted again. "Jamie, can we talk when I get back? I can't do this halfway anymore." My heart flipped. Then another message, but from Adam. "Adam, hey, can we talk tonight? Something's been on my mind." Double gut punch. Two men. Two truths. And no way out that doesn't hurt someone. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. The doorbell echoed through the house, cutting through the silence like a warning shot. I froze, heart pounding. Adam was upstairs in the shower. I hadn't invited anyone. No one ever just dropped by. I walked to the door slowly, my body tight with dread. When I opened it, I couldn't breathe. Jamie. He wasn't supposed to be back for 2 more days. He stood there, duffel bag over his shoulder, eyes tired but locked on mine. "I needed to see you," he said, voice low. I couldn't wait. I stepped outside quickly, closing the door behind me before Adam could hear anything. "You can't just show up like this," I whispered, panic bubbling in my throat. He didn't flinch. Claire, I meant what I said. I can't do this halfway. If this is real, we have to stop pretending it's not. Jamie, I'm married to your father, I snapped. This isn't a movie. It's a life. It's people getting hurt. He stepped closer. Then tell me to walk away. Really say it. And mean it. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Because I couldn't. Because some awful, selfish part of me didn't want him to. Behind me, I heard the floor creak. A shadow moved across the upstairs window. I stepped back fast. You need to go. Jamie's eyes narrowed. He knows, doesn't he? I hesitated. Not everything. But he's not stupid. Jamie dropped his bag on the porch and ran a hand through his hair. I didn't plan this, Claire. I didn't expect to fall for you. But I'm not hiding from it anymore. Do you think I planned this? My voice cracked. I'm not some bored housewife chasing a thrill. This has been tearing me apart. He stepped closer again, his voice gentler. Then let it tear. At least it means it's real. I looked up at him, and for a second, the world disappeared. Just his eyes. The tension. The weight of everything we hadn't said. Then the front door opened behind me. Adam. He stood there barefoot, towel slung around his shoulders, expression unreadable. He looked at Jamie, then at me, then back at Jamie. And in the stillness, I realized there was no version of this where someone didn't bleed. Adam's voice was calm, but tight. Someone tell me what's going on. Now. I looked at Jamie, then at Adam, my husband, the man I promised forever to, and for the first time, I had no idea what to say. No more stalling. No more hiding. This was the moment everything changed. Adam stared at us like he was trying to piece together a puzzle he didn't want to finish. Jamie straightened, but he didn't step back. I was just dropping by, he said, too quickly. Adam raised an eyebrow. With a bag? After days away? You were coming home. I spoke up. I didn't know he was coming. I swear. It was true. And still, it sounded like a lie. Adam's eyes never left Jamie. Go inside, he said to me. I froze. Adam, I need to talk to my son. Alone. Jamie didn't move. I'm not a kid. You want answers, you can talk to both of us. Adam's face changed then, less angry, more hurt. Like the betrayal had just settled in for real. He looked at me, and for the first time in months, I saw emotion that wasn't muted. How long? He asked. I don't know, I whispered. It's not what you think, no, he cut in. It's exactly what I think. And then he said it. I should have told you sooner. Jamie isn't my biological son. The world stopped. What are you talking about? I said slowly. Adam let out a breath like it had been locked in for years. He was 2 when I married his mother. She was already pregnant when we met. I raised him. I loved him like my own. But he's not mine, Claire. Jamie looked like he'd been punched. Wait, what? Adam shook his head. I never told you because it didn't matter to me. You're my son in every way that counts. But maybe it does matter now. My hands were shaking. This changed everything and nothing. Jamie had still been raised as Adam's son. I was still his stepmother, legally. The lines were still blurred. Still complicated. Still dangerous. Jamie backed up a step, his voice raw. Why now? Why tell us this now? Adam's voice cracked. Because I needed to believe I did one thing right. I needed to believe I could trust the 2 people I love most not to destroy each other. We stood there in silence, the weight of everything crashing down. What does it mean when the truth changes the shape of your guilt, but not the depth of it? When something no longer feels technically wrong, but emotionally wrecks you anyway? I thought the worst had already happened. But it turns out the most painful part of falling is realizing you don't know where the ground is anymore. Jamie didn't say anything. He just stood there on the porch, face pale, fists clenched. The news had rattled him. Shaken something loose. Not just about us, but about his whole life. I wanted to reach out, to touch his arm, say something. But I couldn't move. Adam's words were still echoing. Not his biological son. Jamie finally broke the silence. All this time, you never told me. Why? Adam looked exhausted. Because you were mine, Jamie. In every way that mattered. I didn't think DNA changed that. Jamie turned away, pacing like he needed to escape his own skin. It does now. No, I said suddenly, stepping forward. This changes the facts, not the feelings. It doesn't erase the damage. I looked between them. We crossed lines. All of us. But lying won't fix it. Adam nodded slowly. So tell me the truth. Right now, are you in love with him? Silence again. My heart dropped. That question had no good answer. I don't know, I finally said. It wasn't supposed to happen. I never planned it. But something between us became too real to ignore. Jamie turned to face me. Then say it. Don't leave it in the gray. Tears burned behind my eyes. Jamie, we can't rewrite what this is just because it feels better now. It's still complicated. Still painful. Still connected to everything that's broken. He took a step toward me, vulnerable now. I don't care if it hurts. I care if it matters. And Adam, God, Adam just stood there, watching it all. Watching the woman he loved and the son he raised fall apart in front of him. I think you should leave, he said quietly. It wasn't anger. Just sorrow. Jamie looked at me one last time. Waiting, for what? I don't know. For me to stop him? Follow him? But I didn't move. He nodded once. Picked up his bag. Walked down the steps. And didn't look back. I stood there, barely breathing, until I heard the car start and fade into the night. Inside, Adam sat at the table, elbows on his knees, eyes empty. I don't hate you, he said. I wish I did. I sat across from him, the distance between us wider than it had ever been. I'm sorry, I said. Not just for what happened, but for how far we let everything slip before we even noticed. We didn't touch. We didn't cry. We just sat in the stillness of what was left. No yelling. No redemption. Just the end of something that had once been whole. And maybe the start of something else. It's been 6 months since that night. The night everything cracked open and couldn't be taped back together. Jamie moved out that week. No dramatic goodbye. Just a quiet exit and a short message a few days later. I need time. I hope someday you'll understand why I couldn't stay. He didn't block me. But he didn't reach out again either. Adam and I tried. For a while. Therapy, long talks, weekends apart to reset. But the damage ran too deep. Not just the betrayal, but the years of silence before it. We'd been unraveling long before Jamie ever came back into the picture. Eventually, we separated. Amicably, quietly. No screaming, no blaming. Just a shared understanding that we were holding on to something that no longer held us. I got a small apartment near the city. Started freelancing full-time. Got a dog. Small wins. It wasn't easy. I had to face a version of myself I didn't like, the woman who let her loneliness turn into something reckless. But I also learned to stop defining myself by what I was supposed to be, the good wife, the strong stepmom, the one who keeps it all together. Sometimes, the mess is where the truth lives. Jamie sent me a letter a few weeks ago. A real one. Handwritten. He said he'd taken time to figure himself out. That learning Adam wasn't his biological father had shaken his identity in ways he didn't expect. He was reconnecting with his birth father. He'd started therapy too. Said he wasn't angry anymore, just trying to understand why things unfolded the way they did. And then he wrote something that stuck with me. I think we needed each other at the wrong time. And maybe that's all it ever was, a collision of two people who were hurting in the same direction. I cried when I read that. Not out of sadness, but because I finally felt seen. We weren't villains. We were people. Flawed, messy, human. And now we're learning how to move forward without pretending any of it didn't happen. There's peace in that. So no, this isn't a love story in the traditional sense. No fairy tale ending. No perfect couple walking off into the sunset. But it is real. And sometimes, that's more important than happy. Did you enjoy the story? What kind of stories would you like to hear next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. And if you've ever faced a situation where love got complicated, your voice might help someone else feel less alone. Thanks for watching.